At 78, Jane Curtin speaks about her years on Saturday Night Live with the kind of clarity that only time can give. For many viewers, she will always be the composed anchor of Weekend Update, delivering punchlines with a raised eyebrow and perfect timing. But behind that steady presence was a young performer navigating one of the most unpredictable environments in television history. The original cast wasn't building a legacy. They were simply trying to survive live television every Saturday night. Scripts changed at the last minute. Tempers flared. Egos bruised easily. And yet, something electric happened when the cameras turned on. Curtin now reflects on those years not as a golden blur of applause, but as a complicated chapter filled with ambition, uncertainty, and growth. What viewers saw was confidence. What she often felt was pressure. The pressure to hold her ground in a fast-moving world dominated by strong personalities and even stronger opinions. Finding her voice in controlled chaos. From the beginning, Curtin understood her strength. While others fought to be the loudest in the room, she carved out space as the grounded presence. In sketches filled with absurd characters and wild premises, she played the straight role, the calm center that made the joke land. That choice wasn't accidental, it was strategic. She has said that her goal each week was simple: contribute something solid and avoid unnecessary battles for airtime. In an environment fueled by competition, that mindset protected her. Still, the atmosphere behind the scenes could feel intense. The show was young, experimental, and often chaotic. Long rehearsals blurred into late nights, ideas clashed. Yet Curtin kept her focus on the work itself. She treated the live broadcast as the real thrill, 90 minutes where preparation met adrenaline. Everything else, she felt, was distraction. That discipline would quietly define her entire career. Watching a colleague struggle. One of the more painful memories Curtin has shared involves her late co-star John Belushi. Two audiences, Belushi was explosive brilliance, larger than life, fearless, unforgettable. To Curtin, he was also a gifted performer facing private struggles that gradually created distance between colleagues. She has clarified that their tension was never personal animosity. It was concern mixed with helplessness. Watching someone so talented wrestle with personal challenges was heartbreaking. John wasn't John, she once reflected, describing how the joy he brought to the stage sometimes contrasted sharply with off-camera realities. The culture surrounding the show in the 1970s often celebrated excess as part of its rebellious image. Curtin, however, preferred stability. She found fulfillment in her work and her family life away from the spotlight. Looking back, she speaks with compassion rather than judgment, remembering a colleague whose brilliance shaped comedy even as his struggles left a lasting ache. A fractured dynamic? With Lorne Michaels, Curtin's experience was also shaped by her complicated relationship with Lorne Michaels, the creator and guiding force behind SNL. As Belushi's behavior became more concerning, Curtin approached Michaels out of worry. She felt protective of her colleague and alarmed by what she saw. When her concerns didn't lead to the response she hoped for, communication between them cooled. For a time, they barely spoke. The silence created its own tension, deepening the sense that she stood somewhat apart from the inner circle. Yet decades later, perspective softened those memories. At the show's 40th anniversary celebration, Curtin felt genuine gratitude toward Michaels for honoring the original cast. Time had transformed sharp disagreements into shared history. The reunion wasn't just nostalgic, it was healing. It acknowledged that building something groundbreaking often involves conflict, misunderstanding, and growth. What endured was mutual respect for what they had created together. The infamous Murray Chase clash. Among the many stories from early SNL, few are retold as often as the confrontation between Bill Murray and Chevy Chase. Curtin witnessed the tension firsthand. When Chase returned to host after leaving the cast, unresolved feelings lingered. Murray, who had stepped into the space Chase vacated, carried his own frustrations. Curtin later described the atmosphere as an awkward family reunion. Smiles on the surface, strain underneath. The argument that followed was brief but intense, fueled by pride and competitive spirit. While the moment has since become part of SNL lore, Curtin remembers it less as spectacle and more as a reminder of how fragile egos can be in high-pressure creative spaces. Years later, both men moved forward professionally, even collaborating on projects. Time, once again, eased what once felt combustible. Through Curtin's eyes, the incident underscores that even comedy's brightest stars are human first. Comedy in a changing culture. Curtin has also reflected candidly on the cultural climate of the 1970s. Comedy then operated with fewer guardrails. Jokes sometimes leaned on stereotypes or assumptions that would not age well. She has acknowledged that awareness around sexism and cultural sensitivity was limited compared to today. Having previously worked in an improv group in Cambridge where collaboration felt equal, she noticed the difference when she entered a national television landscape still shaped largely by male voices. Rather than positioning herself as a victim, she speaks thoughtfully about growth, her own and the industry's. Over time, she saw how storytelling could evolve. Later projects showed her that humor could be sharp without being dismissive. That awareness deepened her understanding of comedy's responsibility. For Curtin, reflection is not about regret, but about recognizing how far both she and television have come. Life after the live broadcast. When many of her SNL peers pursued blockbuster film careers, Curtin gravitated toward television's steadier rhythm. Her breakthrough came with Kate and Allie, where she portrayed Allie Lowell, a divorced mother navigating independence and friendship. The role resonated deeply with audiences and earned her 2 Emmy Awards. It wasn't flashy, it was authentic. Viewers saw themselves in her character's humor and vulnerability. Later, she found renewed popularity on Third Rock from the Sun as Dr. Mary Albright, once again serving as the grounded presence amid comedic chaos. The role felt almost symbolic. Curtin, anchoring eccentricity with warmth and intelligence. Through these series, she proved longevity doesn't require spectacle. It requires consistency, skill, and an ability to evolve with the medium. Quiet contributions. Across generations beyond sitcom stardom, Curtin built a career woven through multiple forms of entertainment. She appeared in films like Coneheads, revisiting her SNL roots alongside Dan Aykroyd. She lent her voice to animated projects such as Ants, an educational series including Cyberchase. She stepped onto Broadway, narrated audiobooks, and even competed on Celebrity Jeopardy, donating her winnings to charity. None of these moments screamed for headlines. Instead, they reflected steady dedication to craft. Curtin seemed content to work consistently rather than chase reinvention. In doing so, she quietly embedded herself into the fabric of American television across generations. Children who watched her animated roles might not have known her SNL history, yet they were touched by the same steady voice. Home, stability, and enduring partnership. Away from studio lights, Curtin built a life anchored in privacy. In 1975, she married television producer Patrick Francis Lynch, beginning a partnership that spanned decades. Their home in Connecticut offered distance from Hollywood's noise. While her professional world thrived on deadlines and applause, her personal world centered on family dinners, shared routines, and raising their daughter. That balance, she has often implied, kept her grounded when SNL felt overwhelming. In 2025, Lynch's passing marked the end of a long chapter, one defined by companionship and quiet strength. Curtin has spoken of him not as part of her public identity, but as the steady presence behind it. Their marriage endured through fame's unpredictable waves, a testament to commitment outside the spotlight, a legacy measured in grace. Looking back, Curtin's story isn't built on scandal or spectacle. It's built on steadiness. She helped shape one of television's most influential comedy institutions while maintaining her sense of self. She witnessed brilliance, conflict, insecurity, and triumph, all under the unforgiving glare of live broadcast. Yet what defines her legacy is composure. In an industry often fueled by noise, she chose clarity. In an environment of rivalry, she chose contribution. And in reflecting now, she chooses honesty without bitterness. When audiences revisit those early SNL episodes, they may laugh at the sketches. But understanding Curtin's perspective adds something richer. the knowledge that behind every punchline stood artists navigating real pressures and complicated relationships. Her career reminds us that longevity isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. Sometimes it's about being the one steady enough to last.